Hello and welcome to the next part of our series of Christmas updates at Games That Weren't, with a rather special recovery and release of an Xbox prototype that has been missing for just over 20 years. This is Team SAS, also known as Andy McNab Team SAS, and was a game that was being developed back in 2003 by Rage Bristol and then later Dangerous Games Limited, and was raved about in the press at the time, where Andy McNab had donned a skin suit and gave the game's motion capture a realism that no actor could match. The art and animation team, including Stuart Maine, had to plot spline routines for all the levels for all of the characters, which was extremely time consuming but ended up creating a much more realistic experience. More details about the development and the game itself can be found within the link in the video description, but the short of it is that it's your job as part of an elite SAS team to fight through enemy jungle territory and prevent a world catastrophe. Rather than a full-on tactical shooter like Rainbow Six, this was to feature fast-paced arcade gameplay, working with your teammates, and cooperative play with local-only split-screen options. There was a lot of inspiration from the likes of games such as Time Crisis. In the game, you could control 4 different players, each with their own specialisms. John Riley is the leader and uses his shotgun to put down a lot of fire within the game. Victoria Taylor is the scout and bomb disposal expert. Jose Sanchez is the ranger and sniper, whilst Mark Colton is the large muscular guy with a minigun. After a few years of development, the game was shaping up very well, but the collapse of Rage in 2003 would put the game in particular trouble. The rights to the game were however bought back from the receivers, and Dangerous Games Limited was set up in Bristol to continue with the project with its planned publisher. Things would continue for a little while longer, but when the title was originally developed under Rage, there was a PlayStation 2 edition also being developed by another studio in the Rage family. When Rage had gone under, the Dangerous Games team decided to keep the other studio working on the PS2 conversion rather than bring it in-house, which was one of their options at the time. Unbeknown to Dangerous Games, the other studios hadn't got paid when Rage went under, so the studio working on the PS2 edition had moved their team off of Team SAS to work on other projects. Although an agreement was made to maintain the previous relationship, the other team never really committed back to the project. As a result, during the next publisher review, the Xbox version looked amazing, but the PS2 was well behind and not looking great at all. Although the Xbox graphics were generally a lot better, money was made off PlayStation 2 sales, and the install base was much greater in comparison. With no confidence in the PS2 edition, the publisher dropped the title completely. After trying to shop the Xbox version and engine to other publishers, there was no interest in an Xbox-only title, and sadly it meant the team would disband, costing not only a game, but a team and a studio too. The game wasn't to be forgotten, and there would be the odd reminiscing of the title from various websites who recalled the promising previews of the game. In 2024, level designer Stuart Maine got in touch to see if Games That Weren't could recover the prototype that he had from when the studio closed. And as a result, for the very first time, and after being missing for 21 years, here is a demo build from the Xbox edition, which is labelled as a pre-E3 build. We are not sure how close to final the build is at this stage, but there are a number of levels present which are fully playable, and there's also the odd cutscene too. There is also an option to have free roaming on the maps, though it is quite glitchy and requires first loading one of the levels, quitting back to the menu and then going to the option. You'll need a controller set to port 4 to be able to move around on that particular feature. So as you might expect, there are glitches in the game itself, and sometimes it can even crash out. The gunfire sounds quite heavy too, and I'm sure would have been toned down for the final release. It may also be an emulator issue as well. Overall, it is a great glimpse of what is a very promising looking arcade title that could have been a huge amount of fun. We could see why the team were desperate to try and save it and keep it going, and it's a shame that it didn't quite happen. But why not check it out for yourself? It is with huge thanks to Stuart Maine for helping us save the remains of the game from the prototype disc, and a lot of the materials and information which we have been able to also add to the site too. We hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll leave it now to show you some highlights from the rest of the prototype without any further commentary. We'll see you in the next update very soon.
Everyone stay sharp. They'll be expecting us by now. It don't look like there's anyone out here.
Contact! Enemies ahead! Enemies ahead!
Where are they? In the trees. Looks like sniper nests. I see them. Spread out and fire. Keep moving!
John, we've got to move faster. Enemy reinforcements are going to come pouring out of that base, and we don't want to be attacked from the rear.
Right. Okay. Listen up. We're going to use this height to ambush anyone following us. Let's go!
There's our airbase. Doesn't look like they know we're up here.
Okay. Sanchez, clear out as much of the base as you can from up here. The rest of us will cover you.